It's got Bruce Grobbelaar in goal, Gary Gillespie at 2, Gary Ablett comes in for Venison at 3, Steve Nicol 4, Ronnie Whelan the captain at 5, Jan Mulvey 6. At 7, Peter Beardsley dropped by his club last Saturday, but he played for England on Wednesday. At 8, John Aldridge, 9, Ian Rush, 10, Ray Houghton, 11, Nigel Spackman. The 2 substitutes from the younger Anfield ranks are Steve Staunton and John Durnin. Tottenham have Bobby Mims in goal, whose Everton memories include being beaten by Ian Rush 8 times in 4 meetings. At 2, Brian Statham, Mitchell Thomas at 3, Terry Fenwick 4, Chris Fairclough 5, Gary Mabbott the captain at 6. At 7 is Paul Walsh, who had 3.5 years here as a Liverpool player until he joined Spurs in February. At 8, Paul Gascoigne, now of Spurs and England. 9, Chris Waddle, 10, Vinnie Samways, 11, Paul Allen, and the 2 substitutes, Chris Hughton and David Howells. Tottenham kick off, attacking the top end of the first half. Against Arsenal a week ago, they played with a sweeper, Terry Fenwick. And I just wonder whether they'll operate with the same tactics in different circumstances here at Anfield. Chris Fairclough, one of 2 other centre-backs in the side, with Gary Mabbott. Fenwick at the moment taking a position in the middle of the back line. Ablett. Ray Houghton, wearing 10, is onside. One or 2 indications from Kenny Dalglish that Liverpool might have to change their normal way of playing. But Walsh is round Grobbelaar. The goal is gaping for him. And Steve Nicol with a stupendous piece of covering to deny his old clubmate. Grobbelaar was nowhere. He charged off his line, and one ball out from Tottenham had played Walsh in. They hadn't counted on Nicol. Gascoigne, it's over the head of Ablett and kept in by Waddle. Mabbott on the stretch. The most tentative beginning by Liverpool standards. And Samways stopping the thrust there from Houghton. And what an extraordinary opening to the game. The length of the pass enabled Walsh to stay onside, round Grobbelaar, and Nicol very much the last line of defence, but what an effective one. Paul Walsh, like all players performing against the previous club, very anxious to put on a show. Well, Whelan was almost appealing like a bowler for an LBW decision then. Telford Mills, the referee, was looking the other way. The late contact came from Gascoigne. And that is a booking for Gascoigne. With 8 minutes gone. Whelan well enough to take the short free kick, receive it from Ablett, and here's Rush, and Mims was angry again with the lack of cover afforded to him. And Bobby Mims knows from past experience that you do not allow Rush to get away from defenders. He swung at it, didn't connect cleanly, fortunately for Tottenham. Houghton. Tottenham holding a squarish back line. Aldridge wanted a little too long, and it was Waddle who dispossessed him, and is now galloping up to try and support the one forward man, Walsh. And he's got ahead of him. It's a great ball by Walsh. It's a terrific chance for Waddle, and Tottenham, who could easily have been 2 goals up here in the opening chapter of this First Division match, have missed 2 chances. Waddle, the second culprit after Walsh. And how many chances do you want at Anfield? This is Aldridge, though. Mims is committed, and he got the ball. It's a save that will mean a lot to Bobby Mims. And the frustration in front of goal at this stage of his Liverpool career is significant too for Aldridge. Statham going hunting. Spackman. Plenty of room for Gary Ablett. Now, what can Liverpool do from this cross? The flick header was from Rush. Thomas. Picked off that time by Houghton, and Whelan can stride forward. Gets the better of Mabbutt, and the chance for Aldridge, kicked away by Mims and just away from Rush. Had it just been a block, Rush must have scored from the rebound after Aldridge had tested the goalkeeper. Beardsley. And that's a corner. Aldridge shoots, it was deflected, so Mims did even better. And had it fallen away rather than been kicked away, Rush was right on the spot, as you would expect. Nicol. And that's a great run by Nicol. Outside Houghton, and it nearly got its reward. It's in the end the goal kick. Trelford Mills right on the spot to judge, but that was much more like it from Liverpool. Nicol had head away outside Houghton to make the cross possible. So the temperature rising around the Bobby Mims goal. Mulvey rather emphasising his distress then. Samways. More clever play from him. And from Paul Allen. Statham. Oh, and Nicol didn't really take charge. Thomas Grobbelaar diffuses the situation. Tottenham then had 5 players forward in that attack, and clearly a sensing that it could be their day. Mitchell Thomas operating really as an advanced left-back, left-sided midfield, pushing on and finding himself in some very forward positions. Allowed to do so because of Fenwick's role as the sweeper. Although with Fenwick as sweeper, Tottenham conceded 3 goals to Arsenal a week ago. Terry Venables convinced that none of those goals were down to the system. Well, Liverpool may have to adjust their system. So Jan Molby departs, and this is Steve Staunton, who did play last season on loan in the 2nd division for Bradford City. Grobbelaar, the master of the situation. Well, Liverpool might point to injuries, and they've added to their list with Molby going off, and to international tiredness, but that shouldn't take anything away from an exciting first half performance from Tottenham here at Anfield. Paul Walsh might have scored right at the outset, and Chris Waddle possibly should have scored a little later. Whether those misses will be really significant, we must wait and see. But at half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Tottenham 0. Welcome back to Anfield. The task for Liverpool, as they attack the Kop end in the second half, really is to come to terms with a Tottenham system which, in effect, is embracing 5 players in midfield and has stifled much of the best of Liverpool in that department. Tottenham, of course, went 73 years without winning at Anfield, but won here 1-0 in 85 and by the same score in 86. Trelford Mills from Barnsley, his 13th season on the Football League list. It was back in November when Terry Venables, in the suit there, took charge of a Tottenham game for the first time. You might remember it was against Liverpool at White Hart Lane. He lost a player sent off after about a quarter of an hour. That was Steve Hodge, and never really had a chance in that one after that. Fairclough leaving Rush limping. Samways. Now Thomas. Walsh and Waddle waiting in the centre. Here's Walsh. Lets it run for Waddle. And now that is interesting. It was fairly theatrical, but you might be surprised when I tell you that Tottenham haven't yet had a penalty since Terry Venables took over as manager. They were yelling for one then. It was a clever piece of work initially by Walsh to let the ball run onto Waddle. Gillespie was the defender, and Waddle almost went down in slow motion. You can sense that the crowd are aware that circumstances have prevailed against the home team a little bit in this game. The injuries are beginning to mount up at Anfield. The squad, of course, is a deep one, and the resources are capable. It's really been heavy going by Liverpool standards in this game. But here's Nicol. And just as you say that, of course, they're likely to threaten. With Houghton and Rush. No penalty this time at the other end. The shouts were for handball, which could hardly have been intentional in there. Staunton performing neatly. Rush's layoff, inviting Ablett to come forward and try and slip-stay them. Well, he got the ball past, but not himself. But the pressure stays on Tottenham. Well, Staunton seems to be in on the signals. That was deflected, and Mabbutt dealt with a difficult ball with a little bit of luck, coupled with some defensive technique. Could really have gone anywhere. But through the endeavours of the likes of Ronnie Whelan, the tide has begun to turn a little Liverpool's way in the second half already. Through commitment and character, rather than really fluent build-up. But Walsh. Well, it will reach Waddle. Liverpool have been allowed to get some numbers back. It's still a corner, put out by Gillespie. Forward goes Fennick and Mabbutt. Mabbutt gesturing that he really wants the ball hung up high. He's a great natural jumper, of course, Gary Mabbutt. Didn't reach him. And now he has to turn and sprint back in the wake of Peter Beardsley. And look who's up on the far side. It's Gary Gillespie, and Liverpool really collectively saw an opportunity to break down and to take the corner quickly. Gillespie. A wonderful show of enterprise by Gary Gillespie, who ran the length of the field. Samways. Well, at times, maybe it's a fault on the right side, but he's looked to be too artistic. A good old-fashioned blast from there might have been more effective from a player who's yet to score the first division goal. This is Spackman. Liverpool certainly working at their game. They're being made to work by Tottenham's resilience. Well, talking to Kenny Dalglish yesterday, I had the feeling that he knew this wouldn't be an easy game. Samways. Now he has had a shot this time. That was much more like it. As if the incident a couple of minutes ago, when he behaved rather tamely on the edge of the area, had spurred him to something more positive. It needed the upraised hand of Grobbelaar to deal with it. Thomas. Whelan leaving it for Spackman, who's got Ablett. And now he in turn has Staunton for help, but also Beardsley infield, and Peter Beardsley has struck a goal out of nothing. His 99th in the Football League. To just remind Kenny Dalglish that he is worth a place in the starting lineup. On the stretch, as he was tackled and hurt by Mabbutt, but there was absolutely no chance for Mims. Ablett looked to the left, this time ignored Staunton, and Beardsley had pulled away, and Tottenham will be disappointed at the room that Peter Beardsley had. 12 minutes left. The scorer is suffering in terms of the injury. Mabbutt, particularly in terms of how the goal came about, looking at it from the Spurs viewpoint. But Kenny Dalglish's side have shown terrific persistence despite their injuries, despite the battle plan being much changed really from the usual well-oiled Liverpool machine. Beardsley has shrugged off the damage, his ears ringing to the applause from the Kop. And the score is Liverpool 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Well, Tottenham, whose response has been to bring on David Howells, their first substitution. Gascoigne and stay them over the free kick. Vanek, 1-1. Quite extraordinary. Liverpool, the ultimate professionals, caught still celebrating Beardsley's goal. Gascoigne delivered it with the accuracy that Fenwick was looking for, and he obliged with a superb downward header. And Tottenham, who just had a moment or two perhaps to reflect. Oh, now Fairclough has punched Aldridge. And Trelford Mills has to take serious account of this. It was in terms of retaliation, but surely Fairclough has to go. The two goals have fanned the flames in this match. Now what will this experienced referee do? Fairclough could surely have no complaints if the card is red. Aldridge is incensed. He was on the receiving end of it. Judging by what we've seen from the other Tottenham players, they seem to think that Fairclough will survive. I am beginning to wonder whether that's the case. The law is being laid down very firmly. The card is red. Chris Fairclough is sent off. So Terry Venables, who saw a player sent off when he faced Liverpool in his first match at White Hart Lane last November, that was Hodge, another former Nottingham Forest man, as Hodge was then, goes off this time Fairclough. Now this is what happened. Aldridge clearly started it by turning in, well, I don't know whether he did. There was a collision, and then Fairclough raised an arm and followed through. It was stupid, and it's been punished. Tottenham's 10 men, reluctant to get the game restarted. Gillespie. Thomas now in the centre of defence. Howells. It's a good turn by Whelan. And Houghton could only hack it away, and Tottenham are reeling now. All because of the sending off. Gillespie. Houghton will keep it in. Gillespie again. Just at a time, really, when Terry Fenwick had got Tottenham back into the match. And Tottenham really should have been bubbling. Gillespie. Some more jostling, the kind of which really, I think, was at the root of the Fairclough episode. Certainly nothing too serious, it seemed, as we look at it again from Aldridge's viewpoint. Houghton. Oh, it's Rush! Oh, my word! How did he miss it? If ever you wanted an illustration of how a player's timing isn't quite exact, that was it. A very famous example. At a most unusual time for Liverpool, whose habit of snatching victories right at the last is legendary. Often Rush has been the man to do just that. It all happened in the last 12 minutes. Peter Beardsley fashioned a superb strike to give Liverpool, certainly not at their best, a lead. Uncharacteristically, they allowed Terry Fenwick to equalise virtually straight from the kickoff. And then the unsavoury incident when Chris Fairclough was sent off for aiming a blow at John Aldridge. And even after that, the miss by Ian Rush, which perhaps, sadly from Ian's point of view, will be an abiding talking point. He'll get it right, I'm sure, just as Liverpool will play better than this. But Tottenham will draw satisfaction from it. Their sweeper system with Fenwick there worked well for them, and they go off at Anfield with a scoreline Liverpool 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1.